Well, howdy everybody. Earlier today I went ahead and cut a swale in from my fence line over to my stock tank, which has gone dry. But today, if you take a look here real careful, you can almost see it. There's an old community pioneer road right here along this fence, and it was used enough where it made a little dip. So all the water that runs off in a flood from the woods comes down and follows this fence line and just runs away, runs to the Gulf of Mexico. But right here, the pioneers, the old timers, this was where the community had one dip tank, and they'd all bring their animals and they'd dip their animals in a dip tank. So right there's a low spot. Well, what I'm going to do, a little experiment, I want to have a pond in each one of my paddocks. There's a fence line there. Each one of my paddocks. This one doesn't have any water. What I'm going to do right there where that tractor is I'm going to cut in where there's all that congestion. And I'm going to go out about 50 feet, right about there. And then I'm going to dig a hell of a hole. And that purpose of that hole is I've got up to 6 inches of rain coming. So the way Texas works is it's a drought, then a flood. And it's a serious flood when it comes. But if I could save all of that water instead of running off down there and going to the Gulf of Mexico, a nice little stock pond right here, which would hold water, then of course I could do some other things. Shoot, I might even be able to pump out of it and irrigate this poor old pasture. But one thing I want to do is I want to go ahead. This one will just be for drinking. Right now I just got a couple of horses way out yonder, if you see. Way out yonder. Well, they have a right to drink, right? So, but they can't drink in this paddock. There's nothing here. But I'd like to go ahead and close all these paddocks in so that I could density graze per paddock and then move the animals every 90 days to each one of the paddocks. That's called density grazing. The advantage of a density grazing is the animals just don't pick and choose. They actually graze it over so the weeds get whacked and the fertilizers gets put down. And if you move around every 90 days, you don't have as much of a buildup of worms and parasites on your animals. Lots of advantage. So, but to do that, I have to have water in this paddock. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I've got rain coming in 3 days, 6 inches maybe, floods. So what I want to do is break off a little piece of that flood, run into a brand new test hole right here that I'm digging, and see if I find any clay. I might not find any clay here, I don't know, but see if I find any clay. I've got hope since the community used to have a dip tank right in there. I still see bits and pieces of it, but dip tank right in there, and the road ran there and then down yonder, I understand, along my fence line. So anyway, that's how I'm going to find out. And listen, if it's a dry hole, doesn't hold water, I just push it back in. But I'm going to push this, make this test hole right now, ahead of the rain. Just a little ditch to a little hole. I don't know, 300-400 gallons, whatever I can dig with the backhoe, the little tiny Mahindra there, and see what comes. And I'll save this film until the rain comes and see if this even works. How about that? Alrighty, let me go ahead and record this in real time so we can appreciate the pace of digging a ditch. You know, and I do it fast motion, you don't get the real vibe. I'm in no hurry doing this. But what I do is I measure out a boom's length of ditch that I want to dig. This is a good spot for me to tie in. You can already see it's a low spot. The road shifts a little bit. And I'm hoping that if by digging this ditch, I go ahead and get some overrun, right? That comes when it rains. Now, having said that, when I dug the test spot last year and monitored it, I only saw water flowing twice in the year. So not a lot of opportunities, and I'm real excited in this video, you know, to do this testing, and it turns out that, spoiler alert, it's a bust, right? It's a bust for me. I know other spots in Texas got a lot of rain, but what's going on here in my little area, Central Texas, I truly believe this. It breaks apart around San Marcos or so, the storm fronts, and the clouds roll through, and then they reform somewhere around College Station or so. So what I think is that's the interface, and instead of creating energy, it's compressing the heat dome, and then the heat dome just clobbers the clouds, and the clouds part, go around, and so this area might be like the hill country in Texas now, which has changed a lot. You know, they're dealing with oak wilt and things like that because the weather patterns changed, and I've got to accept that my weather pattern might change as well. Thus the pond, thus the test pond. This is working out real good. You can see I go ahead, I move forward, I drop the booms down. You can see when I hit clay, it pulls the whole tractor forward on my outriggers, and gets to be real tough for me to pull. It's all right. I'm finding clay. That's exciting stuff. But here's the pacing to do about 1.5 outriggers worth of booms worth of ditch digging. I'm going to say about 2 minutes, 3 minutes or so. Well, that didn't take long to answer one question for me. This whole thing's diluvian. I'm down in a valley, and there Butcher Creek's right behind me, and Buckner's Creek. But I think it's all diluvian clay. I haven't found any gravel. I haven't found any Edwards limestone. But looky here, I dug this little ditch, and I went that far, and that is the kind of clay you could make a pond out of. So I'm going to keep going tonight, and I'm going to dig, I don't know, wherever that lands. Well, that's a long ways. Out that way, and then put in a big hole and see if it holds water when this rain gets through here, this flood. So I'm hoping to capture a little bit of a flood. Well, let me fast forward through. So you got to watch it real time. So I'm making it double boom wide. I'm just cutting through the topsoil, which is pretty loamy, sandy loam. But I'm hitting clay right away, 12 inches down. This is about 75 feet in as I move through. I'm pretty excited to dig this little test spot. And I go right through all of the green areas and get to where I threw that one thing and it tumbled, a piece of clay, and it tumbled. So the outriggers, I'm double outriggering now because two things. I'm digging the pond, but also I'm hitting clay right away, which just pulls that poor little tractor around. Digging a ditch is good medicine for me. I like it. I like tractor work any day of the year. So being on there and doing all that, I'm under a little pressure because I don't know if there's going to be a lot of rain or a little rain. And I've already spoil alerted you, right? It doesn't do much. 8/10 of an inch of rain fell on the property, and I'm grateful for every bit. It made the fields green and whatnot. But all right, if you're digging a trench, thinking about a pond, this is the best kind of trench. Look at that, 12 inches down. I am hitting clay, real strong clay. Look at this, I can hardly dig it out. So that is perfect. What I'm going to do here is dig a little test pit now. It's going to be pear-shaped so that if one of my dumb horses fall into it, they can get back out. But so I'm just going to dig down a pear-shaped thing right here. And I can't really get into that clay. It's just too hard. But I'll dig as much as I can. I got an hour's worth of sun left, but definitely you could see the storms in the sky already. Let me dig for a little bit. All right, well, worked so hard my battery cut out. I put a new one in the camera just so I can wrap this up. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bucket on the tractor, and I'm going to push all this topsoil, quote unquote topsoil, sandy loam, more sand than loam, more loam than sand. I don't know how anything grows in Texas. Dry as dry can be. Sugar sand is what we call that up here. So, but looky there, I am right where that rolled, and I honored the cosmos. Don't even tempt the cosmos if you're not going to honor it. So I threw that out there. It ended up being too far, in my opinion, to dig, but I dug it anyway, right to it. And this is where I'm going to start the test pit for the pond. Now, this pond isn't just going to be a hole in the ground. You know, it'll be a pond. But first off, I want to, you know, just make a little hole about as big as the tractor. How about that? Just as big as the tractor. Down as far as my poor little backhoe can dig. That stuff is hard, y'all. So, you know, I might have to wait for the rain to land on it before I can actually dig it. All right, it's setting sun. I want to go and get a bite to eat. I'm hungry. a bug flew in my eye. I don't know. Bad things happening. So anyway, subscribe. I'm saving this one. Okay, I'm saving this one. Okay, but like and subscribe anyway. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm going to hold this one until it rains, and then I'm going to splice in the rain thing and see if it fills up. But I'll be back tomorrow to dig a little bit. Trying to get everything settled in before the big rain in 2 days, which there'll be 2 consecutive days, up to 3 inches per day, 6 inches of total rain. That's a lot. And if I could catch some runoff, I'll catch some runoff. So we'll find out together.
Well, I know the rest of Texas is really getting hammered, and I'm grateful. I'm not complaining. About an inch of rain, but I need a lot more rain all at once if I'm going to fill stock tanks. Let's go up and take a look at what I did.
Well, I'm not ungrateful at all. I got about an inch and a half of rain over a 2-day period. So, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch a day. That's not enough to generate any kind of water flow at all. I need, 3 inches in a couple hours. I need there to be overflow. So, but I think that this will work out. There's a pile of clay. There's a pile of topsoil. That's good looking clay. So I didn't dig it out very big. I just want to see if it fills up, if this thing works. So I think this thing will work just fine. All right, this is Steve on a little rainy day. For those of you in Texas who are getting flooded out, I feel real bad for you all. Maybe if our hearts are good and kind, maybe some of that could get spread around the state. So those of us who are still in a drought, even in the rain, could get a little bit. We all have our little problems in life, that's for sure. But we'll see on this. This is why I'm doing a test pilot. That's the whole point, right? Digging a test hole, seeing if there's clay down there, doing the whole thing. And, it costs me a couple hours of work for me to find out if I can even do this thing. I would not bring in a tractor and just dig a pond because bringing in clay would be expensive. But anyway, like, subscribe, follow me along. Thank you. Bye.